Okay, welcome back everybody to my channel. Today we're going to be recapping season 2 of Good Girls. I did a season 1 review, and if you want to watch that, I'll link that down below. But my first one was very liked, and I appreciate all the comments that you guys left on my in the comment section. They were really sweet, and I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, we're going to get into season 2 of Good Girls, which was even better than the first season, I have to say. Like, I love the first season. I thought the first season was like really great. I'm like, how are they gonna top it? And they surely did. And I'm not gonna get into my thoughts in this video. I'm more or less just going to recap, and I will be making another video where I give my thoughts and my theories about season 2, and then like my theories about the upcoming season 3. Can't talk today, but if you'd like to hear that, keep watching. Thank you. So we come back and we're back in Beth's dining room where Rio has given her the choice to shoot her husband or shoot Rio, and Beth is holding the gun, and we have Dean who's antagonizing and telling her shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, and Rio gets the gun from out of her hand because she says she doesn't want to do it, and he's like, okay, he's like, all right, he's like, let's finish it then, and he takes the gun, and you think that he's like being not kind, but you think he's like kind of having mercy, I guess, on her. Well, because like he's really like gentle with her, and he's like, it's okay, and then like he strokes her face, and then he turns around and shoots Dean, and then that's how we end that scene, and we don't know at the time if Dean is gonna live or die. So yeah, and now we are at the hospital, and we find out that Dean is not dead, uh, but we still have some issues going forward. He will have trouble walking or whatever, blah blah blah, and Beth kind of just has like a breakdown at the hospital, which I think was pretty funny. But yeah, and so the next thing we're going to is Stan and Ruby. Stan knows about the grocery store. He knows about everything. Ruby and Stan aren't in a good place. He's upset with her, and he says you need to turn in Beth and Annie and get a deal for yourself and save our family so we don't have to go away or do anything. And Ruby kind of wrestles with that. And she's going to wrestle with that throughout the season, trying to choose between her family and her friends. And we still have our favorite character in the show, Sarcastic. We have Boomer, who is still trying to get the girls locked up, and he's still talking to Agent Turner. And he is going to testify, but when he finds out that Mary Pat had something to do with blackmailing them, she could go to jail, and she also laundered money for them too. He's like, well, if you want to get out of this, you're going to have to marry me. And she reluctantly says yes, which is, you feel bad for her instantly. And then we have some more bad news. Stan finds out that there's evidence. There's evidence that could possibly lead to Beth being at the crime scene where they robbed the grocery store in the last episode of the first season. And evidence has a pen cap, and Stan tells Ruby about it. And Ruby is obviously extremely scared and doesn't know what to do. And the girls are like, they tried to get it, but they couldn't get it. And then Stan, still being mad at Ruby, but loving her extremely, gets the pen cap for her. And you kind of, it's like kind of heartbreaking to see Stan do it, because you know Stan and Ruby are like really good people, and then he does that, and you know it's kind of like, oh shucks. So after we have all that drama, we kind of think that we're done and everything's through, but no, we see Rio come and approach the girls at a park, and he says, your friend, aka Boomer, is talking to the FBI, and I'm going to need you to take care of him. And what he means by take care of him, he means kill him. And the girls are really, really not down with that at all. So the girls enlist Mary Pat in trying to help find Boomer because he's in protective custody. And when Boomer finds out, he goes to her house, and you can obviously tell he's drunk, and she's trying to go away, run away from him. And before, like, he's like, "You're not leaving." So that night, he rapes Mary Pat. And the next morning, when Mary Pat is trying to get away, she accidentally runs Boomer over with her car and kills him. Mary Pat asks the girls to get rid of the body for her, and they do. When they get rid of the body, Rio gives Beth the keys to the kingdom. And we don't really know what that means at the moment, but we're going to get to it. So we find out that the keys to the kingdom is this storage unit full of fake cash. And we don't really know Rio's motives for giving her the fake cash in general, but he really wants her to work with him, and he kind of gets flirty with her. But she does use the money to help save her husband's dealership. And when Dean doesn't respect her, her and Rio have a little rendezvous and hook up. So now we have Beth comes to Rio because Mary Pat is trying to throw him under the bus, and they enlist Rio in helping them out, and he does help them out and get him out of trouble. So yeah, but Rio keeps the body as leverage, and that's important information at the moment. And the girls start working for Rio and washing the money. But Beth finds out that the laundering the money isn't the only thing that Rio's doing at the dealership. He is buying used cars, and he actually is getting pretty smart, and he's putting pills in airbags, and you have to drive the car to a drug person's house or whatever. I don't know the people who buy them, and it's pretty smart actually. Beth finds out and decides to bleed him dry and say, "Cut us in," and he does. Now we still have Agent Turner, who's still trying to get a lead on these girls and get them in jail. And of course, you have to attack the softest person in the group, which is Ruby. No offense. And Agent Turner gets Ruby by basically threatening her. He's like, "Well, your husband's gonna go away because he took the pen cap. It's gonna be worse for him." And then he kind of just uses a whole bunch of scare tactics to get her to talk or get her to turn her back on the girls, because he talks about how what's going to happen to her kids when she goes to jail, when Stan goes to jail. So Ruby is in cahoots with Turner at the moment. But Turner does not stop there at all. He also plants a little bug in Annie's life when he gets an FBI agent to engage in a romantic relationship with her in hopes of getting information and getting close to her so he can take them down. So now he's got two girls down, basically. He's got all of them in corners. Well, two of them in corners right now. Being the person that she is, and having the relationship that she does with Beth and Annie, she cannot bring herself to turn on them. So she comes clean to Beth about what she did, and when she was talking to Agent Turner, and her and Beth kind of have a little. They get mad at each other, but they make up, and it's a really sweet thing. But yeah, Ruby's like, "I can't turn on them. She's like family," and so she doesn't go with Agent Turner. But remember, we still have the FBI agent that Annie is in a relationship with at the moment. And so we have Dean, and he's getting fed up with Beth and her book club, her crime life, and there's just a lot going on at home, and he just really is mad at Beth, even though we feel like he doesn't really have a reason for him to be mad. And so through the grapevine, he finds out that Beth and Rio have had sex, and honestly, he's upset about that, so he takes the kids away. So now we come back to Stan and Ruby, who are they're in a good place right now, but Turner arrests Stan. And Ruby is really frantic about what to do, so she gets the girls to rob a quick cash with her. Beth is reluctant because Dean doesn't want to get the kids back unless she gets out of the crime life. But she does it for Ruby because all the things Ruby has done for her. So after that whole thing of Beth, Annie, and Ruby robbing the Quick Cash to get Stan out of jail, she meets up with Rio to tell him that she's done. And I don't know, I think she didn't really have the plan that she was going to sleep with him, but she has sex with him and then tells him that she's done working for him and doing the delivery, the pills, the laundering the money, and she just cuts everything off with him. So after getting Stan and stuff out of jail, the dealership gets shut down because the FBI finds out about the money. And the only reason they find out about that is because Annie was talking to that FBI agent that she was in a relationship with, Noah, and he tells the head of the FBI, not the head, but he tells Turner, and Rio gives Beth a tip, and Annie finds out that Noah is an FBI agent because he's the only person she told about it, and no one else would possibly know, so she knows. So the girls are trying to do this crime-free life, but Rio is really trying to get the girls back in. He starts sending Beth body parts from Boomer's body, and it's really creepy. And he's like, it's like saying you don't get out just because you say you're out. And I think it's a little personal too, the fact that he's doing this to her and making her wash the money. And they're trying to get out of this lifestyle, and just keeps wheeling them back in, and they have to wash this money even though they don't have any more fake cash. So yeah, no, they do have fake cash, but they have to wash it now, and they can't do it through the cars, and they can't do it through grocery shopping anymore because it gets old and it's just been used, and people are going to pick that up now. And yeah, pretty much. So the girls do end up getting the body back, but they find out that the body isn't Boomer's body, and that the girls have dumped the wrong body. Yeah, which is awful. And they find out that it is Mary Pat's husband in that bag, and we find out that Mary Pat had to not fake his death, but not tell anybody about her husband's death because of the checks that he was getting for his disability, and it helped her out. So we kind of feel bad for her, but the girls don't want to turn her in because of her kids, and Beth ultimately makes the decision that she's going to turn herself in for her friends and for her family to cover up for Boomer's murder, even though the dude's not dead. He's alive, and we know that. So, yeah, with that, Beth tries to take the rap for Boomer's murder, but Boomer's grandmother convinces him to turn himself in and be honest. So the girls right now are basically off the hook because nothing's on them anymore. And we also still have Annie, who confronts the FBI guy, Noah, about him being an agent. But they actually have feelings for each other, so they're still in a relationship right now. And then we have Stan and Ruby, who are in a good place right now. He's not arrested anymore. Their daughter is healthy, and their son is just as cute as ever, and they're doing good. And we kind of see at the end of the season that Stan is kind of like okay with the fact that she was doing crime, but he's like, please no more crime. And that's kind of where we leave off with Ruby at the end of season 2. So now we have Beth, and she's kind of making amends with her husband. They're getting a divorce, but they're kind of like getting along for the sake of their kids. One night she's hanging out with Dean and decides to, kind of just hang out, and they're chilling and they're getting along, which is good for the kids, I believe. And she goes outside because she realized she left her phone in her car, and then she gets kidnapped. And then we find out that Rio kidnapped her and took her to his apartment, and she finds at his apartment uh, Turner, Agent Turner. He has beat him up and kidnapped him. And he gives her a gun and yet again tells her to make a decision to take care of it. And he says, take care of Agent Turner. He's got so much dirt on you. You think he's just gonna let you go just because Boomer's murder charges have been dropped? Um, so he tells her to kill him, and she doesn't want to do it. She's like, why do I have to kill him? Like, you can do it. And he's like, no, it's on you. And come to find out that, like, Beth kind of just points out, and she's like, it's not on me. It's actually not on me. It's on him. Like, you make me do everything. You made me do the car dealership. You made me launder the money, the drugs, the pills, the car dealership, the money. Like, he's put everything on her. And then even the storage unit, the keys to the kingdom, he put all that in her name. So basically, if anything went down, Beth was gonna go down for that. And so when they raise their voice, and when he raises his voice at her to tell her to take care of it, she gets scared and shoots Rio. And then he got shot. She shoots him in the chest, and then he tries to grab the gun from her, and she shoots him 2 more times. And she leaves. She unties Agent Turner, and he has taken Rio's phone. Beth is left to get to safety. He's taken Rio's phone and said, "I'm gonna call 911." And he's like, "But if I do, you owe me." He's like, "You've got chances if I call right now." And we kind of don't know if he's dead or not. That's where we leave the season off with him. And then we come to Beth with Ruby and Annie saying that they're free, and she makes like a fake counterfeit money type deal, dollar bill, and says like, we can do this crime life without Rio. I'm guessing, I don't know. I'm still very confused about the ending, but that was the ending of season 2 of Good Girls. So that's the end of the season 2 recap. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this, or I hope this helped you. I'm super, super excited about season 3 of Good Girls. We get a season 3, and there will be a thoughts and theories video coming out on season 2 of Good Girls, so look out for that. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, or whatever time it is. Alright, bye!